It's Friday, September 29th, 2023, 8 o'clock in the morning, and we're moving the cows, or I'm moving the cows, to the first cell of the fifth section. This is the section that's in the southern half of my field, in the middle. This is the section I was worried about, and it's probably my least performing, worst section. So, like here in this area, there's lots of goatweed. The goatweed's super tall. I'm getting dew all the way up to my belt. We have some growth. You can see here, I think this is Indian grass or something. I don't know what that is. We're getting some growth. And there's lots of different green grass down below that's probably too short for the cattle to graze. When they come back in 3 weeks, it should be plenty tall. There is some grass in between the goatweed. Commentator mentioned that I need to be careful because if the cows keep putting their faces into the goatweed to get the grass, they could get irritated. So I haven't seen a problem with that yet. I'll keep my eyes open though. He also mentioned how he had to shred his goatweed for several years before he started to see a decrease. And so maybe my experiment was not valid because I wasn't comparing what people actually do with control. I need to go for several years. Regardless, I'm gambling right now that the goatweed will not come back next year, at least in such large numbers, because I'm not going to overgraze. That's my imagination. It's my gamble, my bet. It could be a bad gamble. It could be silly because you just simply can't not overgraze here in Northeast Texas. We'll see. My goal, as ever, is to keep chemicals off my pasture that don't belong. That includes all fertilizers, herbicides, insecticides, pesticides, all that kind of stuff. So, at least in the beginning here, I need to know what is actually necessary and what isn't. Another commentator says he's getting lots of flies too right now. I think last year, this time of year, we got lots of flies. Let's see how Blue is doing really good with flies. I don't think it's because I can't see them. I think it's because there's not a lot of flies on Blue. Whoa! They're really quiet this morning. I guess they're not eager for the move, or they detect a sense of uncertainty in my voice. There's Snowball. By the way, I've got Nutmeg and Hindungi in a pen, and for the most part they're staying there. So when Nutmeg gives me puppies, I'll at least know where they are. Her belly's getting bigger. So yeah. Temperature right now, it's about 70 degrees, high humidity, 80%, something like that. The forecast for the rest of the week is 90s, low 90s. And I'm thinking what I'll do is probably cut the cows off. Oh, Blue does have some flies. Here you go. Blue does have some flies. Thinking what I'll do is just cut them off from the forest. They're going to graze without shade. You can see all the flies on the horn there. Look at that hip. This is what you want to see. You want to see a flat back. You'd like this hip bone here to be inside. This is the triangle that I talk about, the triangle of death. She's filled in pretty good, so she's doing okay. You know, Blue's pretty friendly today. Let me get the flies off. There you go. I don't think she likes being touched in between the horns. Come on, guys. Come on, Red. Over here, come on. I'm gonna trip on this goatweed eventually. It almost got me twice. Just putting the wire out. Let me get in the shade here. Whoa! They're all staring at me like I'm crazy. Anyway, that's the story. So we're gonna have 90s for the rest of the week. And it looks like Wednesday we're gonna get significant rain. And then from there, the forecast is to get rain like every other day. And the temperatures are gonna drop into the 80s finally. So, yep. That's what's gonna happen. So, good times. There's an old cattle trail here. I think this is recent. They built this up recently. Just going to the water. You know. Come on, cows, let's move. I guess they don't like moving to a new section in the morning. They prefer moving in the afternoon and evening. They're all tired. I'll just get out of their way. So yeah, so next week we expect rain every other day. Cooler temperatures. This week it's going to be in the low 90s. Saturday was supposed to be 99 at one point. That forecast has changed. Now it's in the low 90s, like 92 or something like that. So, yep. It is humid right now. I'm sweating. When will summer end? It's never going to end. We're going to have summer until December. So, after this section, Monday evening, we're going to move them to the next section, the last section. And then Friday, a week from now, we'll be done with this 21-day rotation. So we're officially 2/3 of the way through. So, yeah, this is what I'm hoping my pasture will look like next year. That grass is deceptively thick. You can see it buries that reel. The reel's probably 1.5 feet in diameter. And it's buried in that grass. The post looks shorter. That's because half the post is inside grass. All right. That grass is thick over there. The goatweed doesn't stand a chance. Over here, the goatweed didn't grow for some reason, but the grass is, you know, there's grass. I'll say that. It's not very thick. This is more like what you'd find in a park or somebody's front lawn. You know? All right, they're coming, yeah. They're just being shy. They don't want to get on the camera. Here they come. Yeah, I'm betting that I'm gambling. I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen, like most things in life, but I'm hoping that the goatweed will not grow next year. That it's going to die in the winter, and it's going to be trampled on in the spring, and then when the summer starts to roll around, the seeds won't sprout because they won't get any sunlight because there's too much grass. And if they do sprout, they'll be struggling to fight the grass, which is really aggressive when it's growing. So hopefully that's what I'll see. This year, heading into this year, I overgrazed by a lot. August last year we got a lot of rain, like 5 inches, 6 inches, 7 inches, something like that. Then we had a damp winter. I wouldn't say a wet winter, but it was damp. And then by the time spring rolled around, I was still doing like 60 or 90 day rotations. And then I changed my plan halfway through early spring to 21-day rotations. And ever since then, I think it's been doing a lot better. If I had been doing 21-day rotations since the beginning, it might have been even better. But more than that, if I had left the ground alone during the drought, taken the cows off, and not nibbled the grass down to the nubs, when the rain came in August last year, the grass would have exploded immediately. But since I overgrazed it, it's taken months for the grass to recover, maybe years, you know. So yeah, the cows are all here now. They're all coming. There's probably a couple stragglers. When they spread out like this, when they're spread out in a large area, that means they're extremely comfortable and they're happy, right? When they bunch together, the cattle's, they bunch together when they're under threat or when they're under stress. And that's a lot of reasons for that. When it's really cold outside, they'll bunch together, probably for body heat and wind protection. But when they're spread out like this, that means they're happy. They're content. They feel secure. So, yeah. Come on in. Water's fine. Here's a cloud of flies over Brownie. Yeah, fly control. You can see here the cow in the foreground doesn't have too many flies, but the cow in the background has tons. This 21 has just always had flies this whole year. She's a fly magnet. The bull has had flies. Most of the cows are doing pretty well with the flies. You know. There's Blue's bull calf. Well, he's over a year old now. I like his genetics. He's small. Small cow is good cow. Right? There's 24. Skinny as ever. She's got a little bit of flies. So I think that's all of them. I didn't count, but yeah, I think that's all of them. All right, guys, I'll be signing off. Have a great day. Take care and bye-bye.